Hey, friends, welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Friends of the Squared Circle. We have Ben joining us. And before we jump into the topic with Ben today, we're going to shoot you a quick ad here of a sponsor from Overdriver here quick.
Be the change. Join Overdriver at overdriver.org.
And we're back. I know everybody hates ads, but if we get it out of the way in the beginning, we don't have to worry about it at the end. Go ahead and check them out at overdriver.org there. A new app coming to the wrestling world that is going to change the landscape of wrestling. Ben, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. And, people don't like ads, it's true, but when you got an ad that's as cool as that, and a product that is going to be really great for wrestling promotions and wrestling fans to use, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I just got that new graphic, and it is beautiful, and I am glad that I was able to execute that. Bill will be happy with me. So before we get into what we're going to talk about today, let's just get a brief history of who and what you do. So by that, I mean, give us a quick intro of your wrestling fandom there.
Well, so I've been a wrestling fan pretty much my entire life. I started the old school days of the WWF, like most people. Hogan and all that is what I grew up on. But one of my earliest memories I have is being 5 years old, and my mom taking me to see an event at the old LA Sports Arena.
Okay.
And being 5 years old, in my mind, what I saw was this big giant cage over the entryway where all the wrestlers would come down, but it was probably just like the bike rack that was me being 5 years old, not very tall. But I remember sticking my hand through the entryway of the cage, and it was Blackjack Luanza.
Oh, okay.
Down to the ring, and he had that bull rope that he carried. And so he's taking that bull rope and he's whipping it at the sides of the cage, and it came down right next to my arm.
Oh,
so it didn't hit me, but it left a mark. So ever since I've always loved wrestling.
Very nice, very nice. Were there any wrestlers that kind of stood out besides that moment that captivated, that made you a fan? For me, we talk about it all the time. I was a huge Goldust fan. Dusty Rhodes, the Rhodes family are some of my favorite. But who are some of your favorites?
Well, I honestly, the thing that got me, I was always a fan. And then through high school is when The Undertaker and everything hit large. And ECW with Bubba Ray Dudley, the entire Dudley Boy faction. I loved everything about that. I loved ECW there. The fact that they were doing the death matches that if you didn't know about the scene in Japan, or you weren't lucky enough to have like IWA and the death match scene that was in the Mid-South and everything, and in back east. The only thing we had, fortunately, here in LA, we had XPW.
Okay.
And we had a couple other promotions. My brain just all of a sudden blanked on me there.
That's all right. Mine does it all the time. You're good.
Yeah. It's honestly, Undertaker is what really captivated my imagination again. And then the Dudley Boys just being the different look there is something that I gravitated towards.
Yeah, speaking of Dudley's longevity in the business, belt collectors themselves, I put them right up with the Road Warriors of being a top team through the decades, multiple promotions, like I said, collecting belts. And Devon, I see that he's kind of coming back a little bit there. I didn't read too much into it. But as well as Bubba, when he was in TNA and just this most recent Impact, when he cuts a promo he sucks me in. I mean,
Yeah.
give that man, they always say give him his flowers, but I'm just saying give that man some props for just being a mega heel. I kind of wish that would have came a little bit sooner when he was in that, WWE run, but sometimes magic strikes elsewhere, so.
And that's one thing too is he lives the gimmick. If he is a heel,
Mhm.
he's not going to be nice to you,
Yep.
But if he's being the babyface and everything, one of the nicest guys you ever meet,
Mhm.
and that's very cool. It's things I remember about that.
Yep.
I had the chance to run into the Dudley Boys when they were with TNA back when Dixie Carter was in charge.
Okay.
And they came out here to Anaheim, California, actually, and this was when everyone was going to their cars, and they're being very, very nice, and they were the top tag team. They were all very nice about everything going on. And then a few years later, again with TNA, they were down in San Diego for one of their pay-per-views, and he was being a heel, and he was just berating everybody in the entire room all the time. Every time they wanted a picture with him, he's like, give me a good reason why I should take a picture with you and things like that. It was beautiful. So
yeah, I love that old school, like you said, when he's the heel or when he's the face, that kayfabe. Sometimes I do hate social media for that when, say, like Becky and Ronda are feuding, and then that night on Instagram, you see them backstage taking selfies. It's like, why are you posting that? Keep that for your private catalog because you're trying to tell a story here. But I can't say enough good things about Bubba and what he's given to the business. Hall of Famers. I would love to definitely meet those guys at a signing and definitely get a table signed because you can't bring anything else. I'm sorry. You have to bring a table. Or if they had a book, I would bring a book. But yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, one of the things I've been very fortunate to do over all the years I've been going to shows, and you can kind of see it here over my shoulder, is the top of the hammer there, and the name there, Orange County Hammer. So I've been bringing this hammer, which is 5 foot tall and weighs 45 pounds, to independent shows for the better part of about 23 years now.
Oh, wow.
And Southern California has always had a very thriving independent wrestling scene. So I've gotten the chance to meet and take pictures with several legends of the game nowadays.
That's awesome.
And people that from just when they first started out and then watch their career blossom and then get a chance to meet them over and over again. And they remember the hammer, which is the thing.
That's great. Yeah.
I just love that,
Mm-hmm.
And I always get a picture of just them and the hammer because it's not about me. It's about them. It's about the hammer and the fact that I get this unique picture of them holding the hammer.
That is pretty cool. I guess I've never thought about that. I know you're new to Friends of the Squared Circle here. My buddy Bob, like when Mankind came through, he made Barbie, the barbed wire bat. When Abyss came through, he made the 2x4 with the nails. So basically, when Bob shows up at wrestling events, you probably think he's, coming to just wreak havoc. But he's actually just bringing a real prop to get autographed for his collection. So, but I've never thought of bringing the same thing, like you said, the hammer. That's pretty unique. So,
yeah. Well, it started because I got this shortly a couple years before Triple H started doing his sledgehammer gimmick.
Oh, okay. So he stole it from you. Triple H, you knew to pay him royalties.
Exactly, yeah. So once he did that, I was like, I've got a hammer. Let me take it to a show.
Mm-hmm.
I took it to a show, and the town was like, oh, my God, that's great. Let's get some pictures. And I took it to another show and another show, and I every chance I get to take pictures with it, I do, and I constantly bring to shows, and it lives in my car now.
Oh, okay.
I never knew. I never know when or where I'm going to get a chance to run into somebody. And case in point, I actually got to meet Chris Cyborg from MMA Legendary.
Oh, okay. Yep. I know that name. Yep.
She would happen to be at a gym that we were doing something at. And I'm like, let me grab the camera and take a picture. And she's like, sure, no problem.
That's so cool. Now, again, I reiterate that you are new to Friends of the Squared Circle here. We've been talking for a week or so. The Money in the Bank briefcase behind me there. I did crash Otis's mom's birthday party after he had won that. My buddy Randy, yes, we talk about Randy here too. Whenever we go back to that restaurant because they play volleyball there and stuff, he's like, "Is this the spot where Otis told you no?" So yeah, so it's like when you brought up that, it just stirred the memory of me failing miserably meeting Otis at a local establishment and trying to get the briefcase signed. But I did have his best friend on. His best friend did send the video. I gave my apology. So hopefully, if I ever do run into him again, hopefully have the briefcase because I'd love to get that signed by him. As you can see, my fandom behind me with all the plush and the action figures there. But yeah, I'm glad she was able to, accommodate you there with that hammer. So
yeah, it's just one of those chance things, and
Yep.
It was right before her workout. She's actually up here because she's got a fight in San Diego in October.
Okay, very
So,
cool,
just
very cool. So now we'll start kind of leaning into. I know we'll get you back on for a future episode, like we said, of Friends of the Squared Circle. We just want that brief history here. So what do you do with wrestling now? Give us a quick backstory how you got to what you're doing now.
Well, that actually it does lend actually to where I'm at nowadays because being a fan after all these years, it's very much a case of I call it jumping the guardrail.
Okay.
A friend of mine who said, I'm going to start a wrestling promotion and you're going to be my head of security. And I do special event security for a living. That's what I do for my real life job.
Okay.
We do everything from high school proms up to a certain award show that involves a red carpet that must not be named. So
very cool.
It's a case of, he's like, you're going to become my head of security. I'm like, sure, no problem. And he said, we joked about it for a better part of 6-7 months. And he's like, I'm going to be running a show. I'm like, okay, I'm your head of security, whatever you need. And then he goes, this is the date for the show. I'm like, oh, cool. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I started pointing out, well, you're going to need this here. You're going to need this kind of thing. You need to worry about this setup. And I started running the logistics because it's the way my mind thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, wow, I never thought about that. And so it very much became a case of, well, let me actually on show day run the show for you. You don't have to worry about anything except having a good time, and I'll make sure the show goes smoothly. And so now I'm the director of event operations. Our promotion is called Relentless Pro Wrestling, and we're based in Orange, California. I like to make it very clear that our show is not trying to piggyback or coattail on a great promotion out of the Pacific Northwest called Relentless Pro, run by Chase James. They're a fantastic promotion. They're really nice people. I've had a chance to meet Chase and talk with him about all this. And we didn't know they existed when our owner, Billy Bonds, created Relentless Pro Wrestling and picked the name for it. We did not know they existed, but it's wrestling and those things happen. People share promotion names all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Especially nowadays, new promotions popping up daily, trying to come up with something creative in the 3 letters. Yeah, I mean, there's only so many combinations, but you're going to run into that. That at least they're nice about you guys using it as well. I mean, I'm sure there's some companies out there that would probably get upset. So,
yeah, and it was very cool. I had a chance during WrestleMania week to actually work a show that Chase was putting on down here in LA, and got a chance to meet him and talk with him. And super great dude. The talent that they have up there with their promotion is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And we've actually shared some of the people. I'm sorry, I should say we share mutual friends, and someday I'm going to have them in my ring as well, because we're only going on to show number 5.
Okay.
And that'll be this Saturday, September 16th, will actually be show number 5, and we're calling it The Devil You Know, because we're featuring a lot of return people into our ring that were on our first show as well.
Very nice, very nice. Well, since we're on the topic, let's show some of those upcoming matches here. You can kind of give us a little bit of your input on them as well. Scrolling through to make sure I got these pictures here. Here's the first one for you.
So this is Rudy Rogers and Travis from Space 68. You'll notice at the top of the graphic there, it's a welterweight match. Something that we try and do with Relentless Pro Wrestling is our founder, Billy Bonds, is a very old school Smash Mouth style, and he believes strongly in the weight class division, and so do I. So we make sure that everyone adheres to a certain weight class, and
nice.
if it's not going to create these mismatch these mismatches that you see from time to time, and it lends to believability and more of a combat sports style that
Okay,
go
cool.
for. So Rudy Rogers is a SoCal veteran. He's been wrestling for years, but he's kind of tapered off for the past several years, and he's very selective on his opponents that he faces. Travis from Space 68 he's an interesting character. He's I'm gonna mess this up, and he's gonna smack me on the 16th when he sees me.
Well, you got the hammer, so.
But he's almost like a space hippie in some regards.
Okay.
It's kind of unique blend of the old and the future meeting together. And this match right here, it honestly could steal the night because of the way the styles are going to match up there, and the differences that are going to play off of each other. So that should be a lot of fun.
Very nice. And before I forget, once this comes up, feel free to tag those guys in the comments. We'll give them a like and a follow. I've got some loyal friends out there that also follow, so we can get their numbers up as well. And now, real quick, too, before we jump into the next match here, do you guys put your matches on YouTube or anything like that yet?
We do not. We're not at that point. All of our wrestlers themselves will do a lot of fan footage, and then they will tape their matches for themselves and put them up. But we ourselves, as Relentless Pro Wrestling, we don't have a page yet.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that way I don't accidentally plug anything. And then the next match here.
So Rickster versus Legendaro. And this is going to be the first round of our light heavyweight tournament match. We at Relentless Pro Wrestling, we don't have belts that belong to us. The belts that we have, we've only introduced one so far, and that is the Southern California Regional Heavyweight Championship belt. And that was introduced in July of this year. Okay. So now we're introducing a light heavyweight belt, Southern California Regional Light Heavyweight belt. And this is going to be the very first round match of that tournament. Rickster is kind of that classic 1980s cartoon character that everyone comes to love. He embodies the tough scrapper of Wolverine. I mean, Wolverine is his idol, and he lives and breathes that idol and that character, and that is a lot of fun. And then Legendaro is a legend in his own mind. He says everything that he does is legendary, and he will be. I love it. Will be. He's a bad joke from a TV show that ended 10 years ago. But
I like the show, but it ended horribly. But go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was a fan of the show too, but after so long, how often can you keep a catchphrase alive? And
right,
they're always keeping it alive, and there's every chance he's going to surprise everybody and put the Wolverine down.
Very nice, very nice. I might be a fan just because of that cheesy. I've used it so many times. We'll jump into the next match, so you don't have to hear me, say the horrible jokes here.
Matthias versus Blue Tsunami. So this is one of our heavyweight matches. And when it comes to heavyweights, Matthias he's going to be one of those classic heavyweight guys that looks like he's all muscle, but will surprise you by how agile he is.
Okay.
He is exceedingly strong, and even though he does have the musculature, it's the raw physicality of it that still shocks you. When you're seeing someone doing a set of I think the other day he was just casually doing squats of almost 500 pounds.
Just casual.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry. I'm not making fun of him. I was just like, no.
Yeah, it's pretty insane,
Mm-hmm.
And then, so he's from the San Diego area, and he's been in the Relentless Pro Wrestling ring before. And the reason he's back was because he did have such a great showing, even though he lost. He lost his only match with us so far, but the fans loved him, and the showing was incredible. So we're like, yeah, let's bring this guy back. Blue Tsunami he's kind of a mystery to me, honestly. He is from San Diego as well, but I don't know that much about him. I've been told that he kind of like a tsunami. You see the warning signs, but you don't recognize it. And then all of a sudden he's upon you and there's nothing you can do. So it's very much a case of we're going to have to keep our eyes open, and Matthias will have to keep his eyes open. I do know that Blue Tsunami is a large individual. So Matthias, while he's very powerful, can the powerhouse stop a tidal wave?
Right. That's a great plug. I loved every second of that. You got me interested in that match right there, just talking about Blue Tsunami there. That's a great name. And one more there for us. This looks like it's going to be as I say, a big meaty boy slapping some meat, so.
And that's definitely what this is.
Mm-hmm.
So Biggie Biggs is actually the holder of the Southern California Heavyweight Championship title that I mentioned. And this title and all of the titles that we're going to introduce are meant to be defended anywhere in Southern California. So Biggie Biggs won the title on July 22nd at our last show. He's already defended it, and he defended it down in San Diego. Now, while we like to adhere to the strict weight classes, Biggie asked us to okay him defending it in a three-way dance.
Oh, okay.
And Billy Bonds, against his better judgment, said, yes, I will go ahead and allow you to defend the title in a three-way dance. And fortunately, Biggie came out the winner in that match. So this is his first home title defense.
Very cool. Very cool.
The American Legion Post 132 in the city of Orange, California, that we run out of, that's been our home for every single event. And this will be Biggie's first home turf defense. And he's going against the monster Terex. So Terex is an anomaly in everything that he is, just plain and simple. He is a living, breathing monster. He specializes in deathmatch wrestling.
Oh, okay.
And him and Biggie are no stranger to each other. They have actually had some incredibly bloody wars against each other in tag team matches and in singles matches and triples matches at some incredible promotions like UEW, Ultimate Empire Wrestling, or Underground Empire Wrestling, and they were one of the great deathmatch promotions we had here in Southern California for a while. So they're very familiar with each other. Terex also is a 400-pound man that can do a standing backflip.
What?
Yes.
I'm going to have to search that out because I want to play that. And again, tag these guys and gals, and in the comments, I want to show them some love here at the Friends of the Squared Circle. And you have just piqued my interest. I'm getting goosebumps thinking of that. I always liked Viscera before he was the sexual Viscera.
Yeah.
And I liked him when he was in that tag team when he wore the purple and, oh my gosh, 80s wrestling. Drawing a blank, but yeah.
Men on Mission.
Thank you. There it is. Yep. So, I'm getting vibes from him in a backflip. I mean, I can barely roll out of bed in the morning. So,
yeah, it's very, very impressive. And so the venue that we run out of, the American Legion Post, actually used to be an old armory.
Okay.
In the early days of Orange, California, and the upper floor where we have our event, then there's an underground bar.
Okay.
And on the nights that we run, the bar, instead of being known as the club room, becomes known as the bomb shelter, because we've had the veterans that are there at the bar say it's like hearing bombs falling upstairs.
Yeah. And especially with those two going at it, I can only imagine what's going to happen.
It's going to be insane.
Yep. We got one more match card here for you to go over here.
So this is Mr. AJ Mana versus James Brady, and this is our light heavyweight division. There's some backstory with this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
So
James, the best for last here.
Yeah. James Brady and Savannah Stone. Savannah Stone is she's in our women's division.
Okay.
We brought her in, and we brought her in knowing that she was not a very nice young lady, and she has proven that.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first event we had her on, she actually physically assaulted me. She slapped me in the chest, asking, because she was facing Jada Vandy of the Vandy twins.
Okay.
She was asking me, how is it fair that the twins were there and it felt like a 2-on-1 situation, even though she had James Brady right there in her corner and they were pulling their own shenanigans. So she was like, how is this fair? It's 2-on-1. And, she can't went and left after physically assaulting me, which is just it. I'm not a wrestler. I'm run events. That's what I do. And then the very next show comes around, and we have a fantastic sponsor, Bulk Beef Jerky in Shoreline Village. She comes out and she takes a sample of their product from their table, and she turns around and then she hurls it at the owner of Bulk Beef Jerky and almost hits him with it because she didn't like the way he was rooting for her opponent in that match. And that same night, she also wound up, as she was running around the ring, she wound up spitting beer on one of our fans and spitting water on another fan, and people physically left the building because of her. That same night, James Brady, who was in her corner, said, "We run your promotion. What are you going to do? You can't stop us." Well, I can't stop you is what you think. Mm-hmm. And so I went to Jace and I said, we have a mutual enemy here. We have Savannah Stone running all over, and then we have James Brady. James Brady, he said, what are we going to stop him? So let's find someone to stop him. And Jace said, we're going to put up the money. You find us someone to stop him, and I'll bankroll. So we literally put a bounty on his head.
There you go. That's a sponsor right there, folks.
Yeah, and we found Mr. AJ Mana, the Samoan shooter, to come in and to face James Brady. One thing that we like to do for Relentless Pro Wrestling is kind of similar to this. We actually have, before every card, about a month before every card, we'll sit down, we'll have a press conference. We'll run down the card. We'll have people on the card come and join us. And I didn't tell James Brady anything about who he'd be facing.
There you go.
Didn't let anything until that press conference happened. And then AJ Mana showed up. We introduced him, and AJ told Mr. Brady exactly what he'd be facing. And so James Brady then turned around and went to AJ Mana's place of business, where he's a personal trainer, and jumped him in his place of business. Savannah Stone was right there with him, videotaping the entire thing. So they videotaped this assault and then put it online for everyone to see. So this became a matter of collecting a bounty to being now a personal vendetta.
Oh yeah, and I got to see some of those videos, things you sent me. Unfortunately, I couldn't get them on here. I'm still learning to get all that stuff in here, folks. But the classic line that I have to take away from there, when he's like, Brady, AJ Brady, the only Brady I know is Tom Brady. And I thought that was a perfect dig at that little guy. But now I'm going to get myself in trouble. Hopefully they don't show up here and beat me up. So
I wouldn't put anything past James Brady. The guy's devious. But this is the first battle. And if by some strange chance he survives this battle, well, of course, this means war.
Mm-hmm.
and he may start a war that he won't survive.
Well, the card just sounds amazing. We're both new to each other. I look forward to seeing more what's coming out from you guys. I will be happy to share anything you guys come up and do. And who knows, maybe you'll see some of our talent your way, vice versa, them coming this way. That's what Friends of the Squared Circle is about. We're here to make friends. And then who knows, you might see someone on a future episode that you're gravitated towards, or they might see something you're putting on and want to come your way. Tag those guys and gals in the comments. We'd love to be friends with them. And I don't know about Mr. Brady. Might have to tread water there slowly. So,
yeah, that's very true. We are actually missing one match. I don't know if you didn't get the graphic for or not. That would be in our heavyweight division as well. And that is Inferno Abdul Qadir versus JF 3000.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one loaded. I apologize.
That's actually probably on my end. I thought I'd send you everything, but those things happen.
We'll just blame AJ Brady for the chaos he's causing you down there or over there with you guys. So we can blame him. He doesn't know where I live in Wisconsin.
I'm fine with that. So Inferno Qadir versus GF 3000. Inferno is, again, he's one of those quiet powerhouses. Mm-hmm. And he is being represented by Triple M Mike Martinez.
Okay.
Mike Martinez has made no bones about it that he wants the Southern California Regional Heavyweight title, and he'll do anything he can to get it. Inferno is his latest monster, and a monster he definitely is. JF 3000 though is he's an incredible force. His force level is 3000. So this will be a very, very good match, a very hard-hitting match. Going back to that meaty men slapping meat, which I love that T-shirt too. So this would be a really good match, and this match could also have title implications in the future for the winner.
Very nice, very nice. So where can people find you? I know how to find you, but our friends that are listening would like to know where to find you there, Ben.
So Ben Raymond is my name on Facebook. My profile is set to public.
Okay.
And then my Instagram is Orange County Hammer. Relentless Pro Wrestling is the name of our promotion. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on X, aka Twitter. And then myself on X is RPW Hammer. We have Billy Bonds is our promoter and the owner of the company. Billy Bonds is on Facebook. He is on Twitter, X as the Family Bonds, and he is on Instagram as well. So pretty much you find us, and all of our links are connected there. And then all of our match cards are there. And then all of the previous press conferences you can find there. This will be show number 5 for us. It is actually our 1-year anniversary. We ran
very nice. Congratulations on that coming up.
Thank you very much. We ran our first show September 2022, and here we are, September 2023. It's going to be our 5th show and our anniversary show, and we're very excited. We're looking forward to this.
Awesome, Ben. I'm looking forward to the growth to see what's more coming. I'm a sucker for wrestling posters, so shoot them my way. Like we said on Wednesdays, we're going to show you guys off. I am so glad that you had some free time. We finally got this lined up. I'd love to get you on and just talk wrestling fandom with you some more too as well. So
that sounds fantastic. Thank you very much for doing this. What I've been noticing on your Facebook page is you're very quickly becoming a driving force for connecting people. Everyone sees wrestling fans tearing each other down, AEW versus WWE.
Oh yeah, that's annoying. Yep.
It's wrestling. If you're a fan of wrestling, just enjoy it. It doesn't matter what style you love, just have fun. We're all there for the same reason. We're there to enjoy people that have this talent, this skill to do these things night in, night out, every weekend, and not not kill themselves or someone else.
Yep.
And that's a beautiful thing. This is an art form, and it is incredible to watch. So if you're there with someone else enjoying it, just enjoy it together.
Yep. Don't overthink it. Enjoy what's happening. Wrestling is for everyone. You know, I usually like to ask, you know, what's your message out there sometimes, you know, to people, and you brought it, you know, and Bray Wyatt, you know, in that tweet that was shared around, you know, that says it all. You know, you can be fans of what you want to be fans of. You know, who am I to dull someone's spark is what I always say, especially when it comes to my nieces and nephews. Who am I to put out that flame, your passion? I'm here to lift everybody up because I want to see everybody else succeed. And I just want to see people grow. You know, that's our whole mission. We're friends of the squared circle. So
exactly. And I really appreciate that, and appreciate you having us on here. This has been a lot of fun. And Billy Bonds was supposed to join us tonight. Unfortunately, Billy had some technical issues on his end, so we'll definitely get with you and have him on in the future.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Bring the Mountain of the Man Bear, who's our director of marketing and safety and security. You know, I'm 6'3", 375 pounds, and Bear makes me look tiny.
Oh, so, okay, that's a big boy. No offense.
Yeah. So we'll definitely have to get my entire team on here together.
Definitely. Again, Ben, I can't thank you enough for being a friend of the Squared Circle. Stay in the lounge here at the end. We will talk. We're going to play one more quick ad for our sponsor, Overdriver, here to give them some love for supporting us here. And it's your boy, Crander Q. Crander Q out.
The official mobile app of professional wrestling. Whether you run a promotion, performance shows, or you're an avid wrestling fan, our one-of-a-kind all-in-one app is for you. Overdriver is specifically designed to grow promotions, accelerate talent careers, and help fans stay better connected to the sport. Thanks to Overdriver, promoters can easily search for and book talent, schedule and seamlessly promote shows, pre-sell and scan show tickets at the door. Wrestling talent of all kinds can increase their industry exposure with a free searchable profile, manage their calendar availability, negotiate and track their bookings, and accept booking payments. Fans can now easily search for wrestling shows, follow their favorite wrestlers and promotions, and purchase tickets all within the app. Fans want to buy tickets but don't want to build a profile? No problem. Guest checkout allows fans to easily purchase tickets without signing up for an account. Overdriver is packed with top-notch features like secured transactions for hassle-free payments between promoters and talent, as well as fans and promotions. A concise ratings and review system where talent and promoters can leave feedback to each other after bookings and publicly display their star status to demonstrate the quality of their brand. A built-in affiliate link structure to drive higher gate attendance by authorizing talent and staff to receive a commission incentive when tickets are sold through their unique affiliate links. Social media integration for coordinated marketing across various social platforms. Tailored push notifications to keep fans engaged about events booked nearby and by their favorite wrestlers and promotions.